Stop for a second and feel this. Something is changing around you right now, and it is not small. It is quiet, but it is powerful. Like the air before a storm, like the deep breath before a truth finally leaves someone's lips. The person you still think about, the one whose silence has felt heavier than any words, is not as far from this connection as they pretend to be. Something inside them is moving, fast. What looked frozen is starting to crack. What looked over is starting to turn. And if you have felt restless lately, if your chest has been tight for no clear reason, if their name keeps rising in your mind at the strangest moments, this message may explain why. Stay with me, because what is building here is not casual, and it is not random. This is the kind of shift that changes the whole story, the kind of moment people remember for years. You are not crazy for feeling it. You are not weak for sensing it. And before this is over, you may understand why the silence had to stretch this long before everything finally started to move. Keep listening, because the next part matters more than you think, and what is coming may reach you sooner than expected. There is a tremor in the unseen space between you and this person, a subtle pull, a pressure, a deep movement under the surface that has been building for longer than either of you realize. You feel it in random waves, in the late-night thoughts you cannot shut off, in the odd moments when your body reacts before your mind can explain anything. A quick heartbeat, a sudden drop in the stomach, a feeling that something is about to happen. What has been blocked is beginning to open. What has been silent is preparing to speak. The wall they built around their feelings is not as solid as it once was. It is weakening, piece by piece, crack by crack, and the more they try to hold it together, the more pressure builds underneath. Signs keep showing up around you for a reason, dreams that stay with you long after morning, songs that hit too hard at the exact right moment, repeating numbers, strange reminders, small details that seem too exact to ignore. This is not empty hope. This is a pattern forming, a signal, a build-up. Something in this connection is waking up again, and even if their mind is still trying to control the story, something deeper inside them has already started to surrender. Watch closely now, because once this kind of shift begins, it rarely goes backward. It only gets louder. And yes, the next part may explain why they can no longer keep pretending nothing is there. Inside them, there is a war. One side wants safety, distance, control, the old protection, the image of someone untouched, unaffected, unmoved. The other side wants truth, wants release, wants to stop running from what they feel every time your memory rises in the room like a presence they cannot escape. They have been trying to act normal, to look steady, to move forward as if this never mattered. But the act is draining them. The performance is getting heavy. The mask is slipping. In the darkest hours, when there is no one to impress and nowhere to hide, you return to them. Your face, your voice, your energy, the version of themselves they became when they were close to you. That is what is breaking them open now. First, they admitted to themselves that they think about you far more than they should. Then they saw that no one else matches what they felt with you. Then came the deeper truth. The life they are building without you may look fine on the outside, but inside it feels hollow, ordered maybe, practical maybe, but empty in the place that matters. And now they are reaching the point where fear is losing its grip. The question is shifting. It is no longer, what if I look weak? It is becoming, what if I lose them for good? That question changes everything. Stay with this, because once someone reaches that edge, they start making choices they once swore they never would. You change something in them that cannot be undone. That is part of why this has been so difficult. They cannot go back to being the person they were before you touched their life. They have tried. They have forced routines, distractions, new plans, emotional distance, even denial. But none of it fully works, because when two people truly affect each other, the change stays. It gets into the structure of the heart, into identity, into memory, into the private places no one else sees. They are beginning to understand that what happened between you was not light, not casual, not easily replaced. It altered them. And now the version of themselves that existed with you keeps calling them back toward truth. Every defense they use to avoid this connection costs them energy. Every excuse feels thinner than before. Every day of silence feels heavier. That is why they are preparing for something bigger than a random late-night message, bigger than a weak signal, bigger than a half-safe attempt to test whether you are still there. They are building courage for something real, something that asks them to step out from behind the armor completely. They keep rehearsing words in their mind. They imagine your reaction. They play out every possible ending. They know there is risk. They know they may not get the answer they want, but they also know that saying nothing has become its own kind of pain, and that pain is now stronger than the fear that kept them hidden. Listen carefully, because this is where silence often turns into action. What they are preparing is not a game, not a breadcrumb, not one of those soft, selfish moves people make when they want attention but do not want responsibility. This feels different because it is different. It comes with weight, with consequence, with exposure. They are moving toward an action that will ask them to be fully seen. No polished image, no emotional shield, no easy exit, just the truth, their truth, the one they avoided because it asked too much of their pride. They are gathering themselves like someone standing at the edge of a cliff, knowing the jump will change everything. The battle is not with you. It is with their own fear, their own habits, their own old survival patterns that keep whispering that distance is safer than love. But even they can feel those old defenses losing power. In the hidden places of their heart, they are putting words together. Raw words, honest words, words that may not come out perfectly, but will come out real. They imagine you hearing them. They hope for softness, but they are bracing for pain. They know they may have waited too long. They know they hurt you. They know there is no promise here except the promise of risk. And still, they are moving closer. This is the kind of moment that creates a before and after. The night someone finally chooses truth over image, love over control, exposure over hiding. Keep watching, because when a person reaches this point, the next move often arrives when no one expects it, and it lands with more force than anyone imagined. Something recently pushed this process forward, a trigger, a sharp realization, a moment they could not brush off or explain away. Maybe they saw signs that you are healing. Maybe they heard that you are finally standing in your power. Maybe they noticed you laughing again, glowing again, becoming someone even stronger than before. Maybe they felt deeply and suddenly that you are not going to wait forever. That possibility shook them, because as long as they believed you would always be there, they could delay, they could stay confused, they could tell themselves there was still time, but now time feels real. The window feels smaller. The idea of losing you for good has stopped being a dramatic thought and started feeling like a real outcome. That is what broke the illusion. They are seeing clearly now that you are not frozen in place. You are moving, growing, healing, becoming. And that truth hit hard. Hard enough to knock down the comfortable story they had been telling themselves. Hard enough to make the pain of your absence stronger than the comfort of emotional distance. This is often how the shift happens. Not when everything is calm, but when reality cuts through fantasy. When the heart realizes it may not get another chance. When the soul becomes louder than the old excuses. If this part is hitting you, keep listening, because the next phase is not about their confusion anymore. It is about the work they had to do before they could even think about coming near you again. They had to face themselves, really face themselves. Not the polished version, not the story they tell other people. The real inner mess, the fear of being left, the fear of being seen, the fear of not being enough. The old wounds they carried into this connection without even knowing how much damage those wounds could cause. They had to sit with the truth that the problem was not your love. It was their inability to receive it without panic. Their habit of pulling away when things became too real. Their pattern of protecting themselves so hard that they ended up hurting the very person they cared about most. This kind of inner work is not loud. It happens in private, in lonely nights, in brutal self-honesty, in moments when a person finally admits that they blamed circumstances, timing, pressure, confusion, and everything else because it felt easier than saying, "I was scared, I was wounded, I did not know how to stay." But slowly, that truth has been rising in them. They are starting to see how their past shaped their reactions, how old heartbreak taught them to expect pain, how family patterns taught them distance, control, silence, or emotional absence. They are beginning to understand what they projected onto you, what they ran from, and what they ruined because they did not know how to hold something real. This matters a lot, because if they come back, it cannot just be from longing, it has to come from awareness. And that awareness is exactly what has been growing in the dark. So yes, the way they return may matter almost as much as the return itself. It may be a long message they rewrote 10 times before sending. It may be a call where their voice trembles because they are saying things they have never said out loud. It may be a letter, honest, messy, human. It may be them showing up in person because distance stopped feeling possible and words on a screen no longer felt big enough. However it happens, it will likely carry the same energy, truth without decoration. They may tell you how wrong they were, how afraid they had been, how the separation forced them to see what the connection really meant. They may admit the nights they almost reached out, the moments they saw something beautiful and instantly thought of you, the emptiness they could not explain to anyone else, the fact that no distraction truly replaced what they lost. And if their change is real, the apology will not be vague. It will be specific. It will name the hurt. It will not hide behind excuses. It will not ask you to forget. It will ask only for a chance to show over time that they are no longer the same person who chose fear. Stay with me here, because this part is important. Grand words can sound beautiful, but what matters next is not only what they say, it is what they do after saying it. That is where truth becomes visible. That is where the real story begins. Real change does not live in one emotional moment. It shows up in consistency, in patience, in steady action, in the quiet follow-through that comes after the dramatic confession fades. If this person has truly changed, you will feel it not just in their words, but in their presence. There will be less chaos, less confusion, less push and pull, more calm, more accountability, more honesty. They will not rush you. They will not pressure you to heal on their timeline just because they are finally ready to feel. They will understand that trust comes back slowly and only through repeated proof. That is how you will know whether this is genuine or just another cycle wearing a better mask. Watch how they show up on ordinary days, not only emotional nights. Watch whether they take responsibility without turning it into a performance. Watch whether they listen when it is uncomfortable. Watch whether their actions stay aligned when the intensity cools down. Because true growth has a grounded feeling to it. It does not beg. It does not manipulate. It does not make you carry the entire emotional weight. It meets you. It respects your pace. It understands that healing cannot be demanded. If you have been waiting for something real and not games, this is the difference. And if you needed to hear this today, do not click away yet, because the next truth may be the one that protects your heart while everything else starts moving again. You are not required to say yes. You are not required to open the door just because they finally found the courage to knock. That choice is still yours, and it always was. You are allowed to ask for time. You are allowed to watch before trusting. You are allowed to say, "Show me." You are allowed to say, "Not yet." You are even allowed to say, "Never again." Love does not remove your right to protect yourself. Their awakening does not erase your pain. Their regret does not automatically rebuild what was broken. Sometimes people return because they are finally ready. Sometimes they return after the damage has changed too much. Both things can be true. Both things happen. And your job is not to save the moment. Your job is to stay connected to your own truth. If trying again would betray the growth you fought hard to build, honor that. If forgiveness feels real and safe and aligned, honor that too. There is strength in both boundaries and softness. There is power in saying yes from clarity, and there is power in saying no from self-respect. Do not let longing make the decision for you. Do not let fear make it either. Let truth decide. Let your body tell you what is safe. Let your spirit tell you what is right. Because whatever happens next, your worth does not rise or fall with their return. You are still whole, still valuable, still deeply chosen by life itself, whether this person reaches you or not. And still, the signs around this connection may keep getting louder. The strange timing, the repeated symbols, the dreams that feel too vivid to dismiss, the sudden waves of emotion that arrive out of nowhere, the moments when you think of them and something in your body says, "Pay attention." The universe often whispers before it speaks clearly, first through patterns, then through nudges, then through events you can no longer explain away. You may notice the same song again and again, a phrase that reminds you of them appearing from different places in one day, a message from someone linked to their world, a feeling in your chest that tells you something is building, even if you have no visible proof yet. Do not base your whole life on signs, but do not ignore your deeper knowing either. Sometimes the heart feels movement before the eyes can see it. Sometimes what is coming sends a signal ahead of itself. That is why this period can feel so charged, so restless, so alive under the surface. You are sensing the pressure before the breakthrough, the wave before it hits shore. And if you have felt like ordinary life has this strange electric edge lately, there may be a reason. Keep listening, because we are getting very close to the part where everything turns from feeling into action, and that is where this story becomes real in a whole new way. The unexpected move is near. Not years from now. Not some distant maybe. Near. Close enough that your energy may already be reacting to it. Close enough that what felt impossible a month ago may begin to feel strangely likely. This is the moment when fear starts losing its throne, when the silence becomes unbearable, when the thought of doing nothing hurts more than the risk of speaking. They are approaching that line now. And when they cross it, it will not be subtle inside them. It will feel like a floodgate opening, like pressure finally releasing after being trapped too long. That is why the coming days and weeks may feel intense. The emotional weather is changing. What has been stuck wants movement. What has been hidden wants air. What has been denied wants expression. If they reach for you, it will likely come with urgency, but not the careless kind. More like the urgency of someone who understands that truth has been delayed too long. Someone who finally knows what this connection costs them to ignore. Someone who sees that another day of silence may become another lifetime of regret. So if you feel the storm building, you are not imagining it. If your intuition keeps nudging you, there may be a reason. If something in you says the story is not finished yet, Do not dismiss that voice too quickly. We are almost at the edge of the turning point now. When the moment arrives, receive it from a place of strength, not desperation. That is the key. Not with walls so hard that nothing can reach you, and not with open hands that abandon all wisdom. Meet it with groundedness. Meet it with self-respect. Meet it as someone who has survived the silence, learned from the ache, and grown into deeper power while the other person was still learning what they lost. If they come with truth, listen. If they come with softness, notice it. If they come with consistency, let time reveal that. But do not shrink. Do not forget what this season taught you. You have changed too. You are not the same person who once waited with all your hope sitting in their hands. You are wiser now, stronger now, clearer now. That means whatever happens next can unfold in a better way, because you are no longer standing in the same place. The storm is breaking, the energy is moving, the stuck parts are opening, and the chapter ahead, whether it becomes reunion, closure, or something neither of you expected, will ask you to stay true to yourself above all else. So breathe, stay alert, stay centered. The message, the call, the confession, the arrival, whatever form it takes, may be closer than you think. And when it comes, you will not need to chase the truth. You will feel it, you will know, and from that knowing, you will choose what comes next.